As a parent, what was your you cannot be serious moment with your babysitter? When my maternity leave for my second daughter was almost over, I was getting ready to go back to work. Being an early childhood educator, I was very particular about who I would hire to care for my daughter. The person I chose was taking an early childhood education evening program which gave me comfort. I had her start a week before I would be going back to work to test her out and to show her the ropes. My first impression of her was positive. I liked how she interacted with my daughter. I stayed home for some of the time and went out to do small errands. I wanted to see what was happening when I came back home unannounced. So far, so good. My daughter seemed to like her. On the second day, when I went into my purse, I thought I might be missing some money but I wasn't sure and I didn't want to make any assumptions in case I was wrong. I had to know for sure so I went to the bank and I took out a lot of money, $270 to be exact. I counted it twice to be sure of the amount and I asked my husband to verify it for me. The next morning, I left my purse out intentionally and said I would be resting upstairs for a bit. My husband and I had pre-arranged that if she did steal any money, I would call him immediately, leave the house on a supposed errand and wait for my husband to meet me outside. He worked nearby and I didn't want to confront her alone, so we would then go back into the house together. When I went downstairs, I took my purse into the bathroom to put my makeup on and count my money. To my horror, she stole $70 from me. My plan went into action. I left my house and anxiously waited for my husband to show up. Within minutes, he arrived. We went into our house together and she was holding my daughter. I calmly walked over to her and extended my arms to take my daughter from her. I wanted to ensure my daughter's safety before I confronted this woman. I said, "I know that you stole money from me, I want it back now." She denied everything and said, "You know me, Jennifer. How could I sing to your daughter and steal from you?" I said, "It's not that hard, you sing and stick your hand in my purse at the same time." She still insisted that she didn't know what I was talking about. I said, "Look, I set you up and you took the bait. I went to the bank and I took out $270. You took $70. I know you have it, I want it now." She just happened to have a wad of money in her pocket. She took it out and handed it to me, insisting that it was her money. I counted it and what do you know? It was exactly $70. She then said something bizarre about wanting to go to my basement to get a pair of socks she left there. She had no reason to have been in my basement and her story made no sense. I said, "You've stolen enough money from me already, use it to buy yourself a new pair of socks. Get out of my house now." With my husband and I blocking her path, she had no choice but to turn around and walk out the front door. That was the last we heard from her. About a month later, I got a strange call from a woman who asked for me by name. Her voice sounded familiar but I wasn't sure where I knew it from. She explained to me that she had a woman that she had hired to help her pack up boxes in her house because she was getting ready to move. She said that this woman forgot her address book at her home and when she picked it up to put aside, it fell face up with my name and number showing. It only had my first name but the number seemed familiar. She didn't know why, but something compelled her to call me. I then asked her the name of the person who was working for her. My gut was telling me that it was the same person that had stolen from me. I was right. I then told this lady what had happened to me and I strongly urged her to get rid of this woman immediately as she was not trustworthy. Shortly after this incident took place, I heard of someone else that I knew that had gotten swindled by the same woman. She had it much worse. She only caught on to her antics after she stole her diamond ring and some of her checks, which this lady forged. I don't know if she ended up pressing charges or not. I sure hope she did. I'm really glad that I was aware enough to catch on within 2 or 3 days of having hired her. It could have been so much worse.